14 years old, my high school music teacher told me that I'm not a musician. I then went on to graduate from Berklee College of Music anyway. Let's talk about that. Growing up, I was always interested in music. It was a hidden passion of mine. It wasn't something I felt comfortable telling people about. I was a very shy child, and it was actually the drums that were the first instrument that I wanted to learn how to play, but I was just too timid to voice that. And music was being played pretty much all the time. My dad playing Van Halen, Led Zeppelin, Green Day, Foo Fighters, Megadeth, Iron Maiden. That was the atmosphere. Noise. Kidding on. And I knew what the guitar could do, but didn't feel comfortable enough to express an interest to learn. Then came Guitar Hero, very popular video game. And that bridged the gap between being familiar with video games and the real thing. Playing an interactive experience that gets you a little bit closer to playing an actual guitar, playing music. It was when my grandpa, who actually saw me play Guitar Hero, and he was seeing that what my fingers were doing on this plastic guitar controller, and he said, I think we need to get him an actual guitar. So I get an actual guitar and I start practicing seriously. And it was around about this time that my world changed. When I heard Joe Satriani and Steve Vai, specifically Passion and Warfare, I couldn't believe that the guitar could do that. I couldn't believe someone could make this. And I just felt that my life was sorted. It was sorted. I knew that guitar and music were a non-negotiable for me for life. Simple. So then I began practicing seriously, doing the workouts, learning the scales, getting my technique in control. And I thought, I want to take music class as well. I want to take that seriously. I want to learn more about music theory. So I go to my music teacher in high school, 14 years old, and I asked him, I want to learn music. I want to take a music class. So we set up a time. I showed him what I was working on, scales, exercises, songs, and he basically just kind of shrugged it off. It was like, this is a hobby for you. You're not a musician. And when you're 14 and you know what you want out of life, I felt activated in a way, like that was the sign that I needed. And so I walked out of that room and I didn't feel destroyed. I didn't feel emotional or crumbled, but I walked around the playground and I was just saying out loud to everyone, anyone, I am a musician. Within earshot, I was telling people that. I was 14. Then 2 years pass and I go to the same teacher, ask him the same question, but this time I want to learn higher music. That's a higher level of music in Scotland. I mean, at the end of the day, they're playing triangles. Do you know what I mean? They're all learning the modes and shit. So anyway, I was above his pay grade, I think. Yeah, it was just more of the same. It was the same result, another denial, and I just thought, wow, like, school is just not for me. Like, the fact that I'm not allowed to take the subject that I love the most and can see myself doing for the rest of my life, not being allowed to do that at school. Yeah, school's not for me then. So that happened, and then I went to music college after high school in Glasgow for like 3 years at the Academy of Music and Sound. Gigged, performed, studied, made like-minded friends, had a great time. And then in 2013, I auditioned for Berklee College of Music in Boston, and I was accepted. And I graduated in 2018. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to hear about my experience at Berklee. And nowadays, I'm just building my YouTube channel. I focus on the guitar, I focus on music, I write songs, I release them. But having said all of that, I wanted to share what I've learned about those experiences with the music teacher, and even having a family member tell me that I'll never be Joe Satriani. What I've learned is it was never personal. It was never actually about me. I just kind of activated the thought patterns that live inside their own head, which is through societal conditioning and through their own kind of family experiences. Them believing that themselves are not good enough, them believing themselves that they're not talented enough, or that they're not a musician, or that they won't make it, or that they're not Joe Satriani, or that they can't, that it's just a hobby. And so they see somebody else who has the audacity to want something, the drive, determination to go and get it, and they shut it down because it makes them feel uncomfortable. That's it. And when you see it for what it is, you can actually have some empathy for it, because it's not personal. It's just them. They've limited themselves through their own thoughts. A tale as old as time. So there you go. A little story. Not a lesson, but also a lesson. Not a guitar lesson, but a lesson. And I want to say a more honest peek into me as a person and a story that I have to share. See you in the next one. Peace.